Well, what's this guy like? What's his life like? What are his relationships like? How many relationships does he have? What started me on this? I wanted to write a more lighthearted piece for my Psychology Today blog. I wanted to look at a personality profile of Santa. Since I wanted to make sure I wasn't repeating stuff other people had done while acknowledging some of them. And I found a bunch of people who had rated Santa on the Myers-Briggs type indicator. And we all know reasons to be skeptical of this test, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Everyone I saw, they all put Santa as an extrovert in the extrovert-introvert dimension. And I wasn't so sure about that. I got thinking, it's like, well, he is very jolly and boisterous, but is he an outgoing introvert or a reclusive extrovert? I mean, this guy lives at the North Pole.
He operates in the dead of night. His best friends are what, reindeer?
Elves?
Elves and his employees, yeah.
I guess
Employees, yes. That's what they are.
So
That is interesting.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when you were saying that, I was thinking in my mind, he's probably an introvert. Introverts can at times be outgoing, but it's exhausting for them. And they go back and retreat to get that energy so they can go and be jolly.
Yeah, I'm going with the introvert side as well, especially if we go with like a Jungian definition that, the introvert is charged by the downtime, and the extrovert, the example I always use is the extrovert goes to the party and is ready for the after party. The introvert can go to the party and have a good time, but then they're ready to go home. They're not heading to the after party. And I think Santa, look, he's doing this all in the dead of night when people are asleep. I don't think he's looking for a lot of contact and to be the center of attention. He's dropping stuff off and he's moving on, and then he's spending another 364 days, like you said, kind of isolated up in the North Pole. So I'm definitely going with the introvert side.
Well, we don't get the backstory on what he does the rest of the year, right? We don't know if he's traumatized and needs to go through some therapy. I would say he's a pathologically altruistic introvert, right? Because people who are pathologically altruistic will do good for others to the detriment of themselves. So if we knew a little bit more about what Santa does after that night and how much suffering he goes through the rest of the year, I could see if he's truly just mildly, somewhat altruistic or pathologically altruistic.
If people get suspicious of altruism, why are they doing this? What are they getting out of this? I think with Santa, it depends. Is he actually a bunch of guys or a series of guys, as in the Santa Claus, which gets kind of morbid if you've seen the movie, or the recent video with Michael J. Fox appearing in it, or is he one immortal guy? In which case, well, he's not gonna. The everyday stuff of the human race isn't that meaningful to the immortal person, but he can be involved in this activity one time every year.
At least the reindeer, they don't, that they're his work pets. Elves are his employees. He's married. One lady is his only person companionship. So yeah, I would disagree. Yeah. Very sad social situation up at the North Pole now that we're really talking about it.
Well, we don't know what he does most of the year. And he may have a beach house in the Bahamas he goes to for part of the year.
There was that movie that came out on Disney Plus, Noel, about Santa. I did the set visit years ago, and they had the whole concept is that Santa dies and then another person in Santa's family takes over, like a monarchy or something. Mm-hmm. And we walked through part of the set, and there were pictures of historical Santas everywhere, and the 60s guys wearing like tie-dye Santa outfit. And so I sort of feel like in that world, Santa definitely was doing something else during the rest of the year. Maybe a little smoking.
Santa Claus, because Santa Claus has a sort of similar setup to that. Since I know both of you guys hadn't seen it, it's about, Santas are mortal and they die, and if you find his body, it's like necromongers from Pitch Black rules, where you keep what you kill. So if you kill Santa, you become Santa. If you hunt him down and kill him, that implies you become Santa. But Also, regardless, these are still people who have like mortal connections and they live mortal lives, because Santa dies at the beginning of the movie by falling off the roof. And then Tim Allen finds his corpse and becomes Santa. So, but Tim Allen.
All that drinking.
Yeah, it's all the sherry. But Tim Allen, you know, he's still got a son. He's still got other connections to the world.
Very strange.
He has his wife, right, Mrs. Claus. The elves, I'm assuming, and you can go a couple different ways. I know in the thread, you know, Billy had said something about being a capitalistic slave driver, or is it more of a family setting type thing? And so he's not necessarily living in isolation. It seems like he has counterparts to, you know, he has his sidekicks to help balance him. And that level of pathology, you know, to the extent of his own suffering, is he doing it because he and it depends on what origin story that we're reading or watching, right? It's almost like the story of Buddha in one origin story where he's seeing these kids suffer. So he went, and I cannot remember the name of the movie. I was trying to look it up for this discussion, but he goes and he carves these wooden toys out for the kids in the village. And that's kind of how it originated, and it blew up into this big, huge thing.
So far, every one of you who's weighed in on this seems to think Santa seems more like an introvert, although we are a bit short in the evidence to know for certain.
This conversation sparked a curiosity. As children, we cast the ideas that children are no longer believing in Santa, and I wonder if some of the cognitive mechanisms are actually the things we've been talking about, would be assessing his agency, assessing his motives. In other words, I'd love to see if one of the primers for why kids don't believe in Santa later is because they get to that point where they develop some theory of mind, they start developing stories about motives, and this guy's just too good to be real. So I don't know, that's definitely an empirical issue, right? One can investigate if there's a correlation between you know, the onset of theory of mind and motive testing, and then belief in these types of supernatural.
Instant gratification is so prevalent for a kid these days. Like the idea of sending the letter and waiting for the response to come back, and so like throughout the year they can say, hey mom, dad, can you get me this? Go on Amazon, click a button. If you have Amazon Prime, you get it the next day. So that anticipation, everything might impact the magic that comes along with believing in Santa in the first place. So they might believe in it, but I don't know how impressed they are with it compared to when I was a kid or all of us.
I'm going to say you're dead on there. I remember being a kid, my mom would give us the Sears catalog, and we would make our Christmas list from the Sears catalog, and we would mail the things out. And I will tell you that sophisticated adult behavior requires neural inhibition, right? And that takes a long time to develop. And you could be onto something if we're sort of decreasing the time scale of satisfaction, of reward gratification.
Something Asher said earlier got me to thinking about how people need something to look forward to. You need something you can enjoy in the now, but you need something, you need hope, but that's different from having something to definitely hope to look forward to. And Christmas brings that all together. You have the you hope you get the good present. You hope certain things happen, but you know Christmas will be Christmas. And the Santa seems to embody that, give it some different symbol to focus on, and he is the embodiment of that Christmas experience, not the roots of it, even though he's got elements pulled from the roots, the pagan origins, and then let's pull in the Christian elements, and let's have him be Saint Nick instead of some pagan god. But he becomes that embodiment of that thing to look forward to. And I think one of the things that's been hard for people, that was hard for people during 2020, was you had, okay, we look forward to this being over. That's just, you're looking for a double negative. You're looking for the not bad, rather than knowing for sure what's the thing we can enjoy. We look forward to doing these things again, but you're looking forward to turning off the bad, I think is more of what it's been.
We're looking forward to being negatively reinforced.
And then we've got, you're looking for the removal of the aversive situations.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the isolation interfered with holidays for people. Like, my family was not able to have a Thanksgiving gathering or the same kind of Christmas gathering. And to even plan for those sorts of things. You look forward to when we can make plans again. Any final thoughts, messages, farewells, anything we didn't hit on?
I've made all the weird Santa-related jokes I thought of ahead of time, so.
No, I just feel like, I didn't really care that my parents lied to me about it. I just assumed that it was a fun thing that you were supposed to tell kids, and I got to participate in it, which was really fun. And then, then I apparently destroyed some 11-year-old's childhood.
Yeah, and I want to say I love the Santa mythology and all of the Christmas trappings, and I love how as a society we have decided that kind of all Santa myths are good Santa myths. Often in fandom we have canon and then we have fanfic, and like sometimes they can coexist. Like Arthur Conan Doyle can exist in the same world as BBC Sherlock, but in the realm of the holiday canon, we've kind of decided that anything goes. Like Gremlins can exist at the same time that Jolly All the Way and Die Hard, and like these can all exist and they're all holiday canon, and I love that.
So the real question there is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
I saw Stephen D'Souza, the writer of Die Hard, weigh in on that, and he said yes. So I'm gonna go with Stephen D'Souza and say, well, if he says it's a Christmas movie, then ho ho ho, now I have a machine gun.
Thanks for inviting me. I love talking about Santa because it gives us this space to talk about belief, and I love to talk about belief. So thank you very much.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks for all the ideas. It's always charging to be with people with different ideas.
This was fun.
You need,
Good talking, everybody.
this was really fun.